accommodations for that. He has to be transported so they don't handcuff him while he's on the, they're already when they put him in the ambulance. So I think that's how that all applies. But what I wanted to talk to you about is there seems to be some suggestion that something happened when they put you in the police car. In one of your emails you talk about some pose that you were put in.
Oh, positional asphyxiation. Are you familiar with the term?
Well, yes, of course I am. So did something happen when they escorted you to the SUV, and then what happened from there? I mean, what did they ask you to do? How did they get you to sit in the car? I mean, you were completely compliant up to that point,
Well, I mean, how far does your medical training extend? Like, have you had a CPR class? Do you have any nursing or CNA experience?
Well, I've had all the typical medical.
Like some kind of emergency medical response training?
No, but what I'm asking the questions. So what happens when they take you to the police car? Have you ever been in the back of a police car before? You haven't been arrested before, right?
Well, John Rhodes, that actually is not true. I've been arrested on a false DUI. A false DUI where I was exonerated. And it was a car trouble I had. My car was had an alignment problem that it made it appear that I was leaving. So my defender exonerated. That was like 12 years ago.
The reason I asked you that was to see if you had some experience being in the back.
Well, I've got a lot of experience thanks to you guys. This has been thrilling and interesting.
No, I mean being in the back of a police car. So when they take you to the back of the police car, to put you in to transport you to the booking facility, tell me what happens. They open the door and they tell you to sit down, or what happened?
So you haven't really answered my questions. What's next procedurally, step by step? Imagine I'm in the dark. I want to know, when you get your outcome, say you do an exoneration, we've discussed this, then I want to appeal.
That's not up to me.
Who is it up to?
The command structure.
And who is that? Heffley or Gorgoni or Marshman, Wagenknecht?
No, it goes to the commanders at the precincts.
And who would that be? Robert King?
Central Precinct currently is Commander Danis.
Danis? How do you spell that?
Davis, D-A-V-I-S.
And first name?
They review the case and they do the findings.
Okay, so you're just providing investigator information.
Right.
Yeah, so you're not actually making conclusions or any kind of judgment.
In order for me to get to that point where I can submit the case, I need to be able to properly and thoroughly address all of the issues that complainants in this case that you bring up. So there seems to be some suggestion that something happened because of and I'm taking a word from one of your emails, the pose.
The positional asphyxiation, yeah.
So that you were put in when you sat in the police car. So tell me what happened.
Well, I had a very severe neck injury.
And then what happened? So they put you in the car, and then what's going on to have caused some other
some choke. No, it's like a choking out effect, a choke out effect. And you would have had to be, well, you'd had to have been there for the neck injuries that I've already sustained to have understand my reasonable accommodation as a person with a disabling neck injury was.
So how did they transport you?
They removed my neck brace, you know that.
Oh, okay.
You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But you got that back, right?
No, but you don't understand. The neck brace is on my neck because I'm disabled, because I need the neck brace. When they remove the neck brace, it destabilizes the tissue which is torn and sprained.
Okay.
And there's a dislocation on my trachea. I still have complications. I'm still in chronic pain. And they intensified the injury by ripping my deltoid muscles of my shoulder back, crushing my thumbs and my wrists, tearing my shoulders, and stretching my skin on my neck so much that it was choking me out.
Okay, I was thinking that perhaps something happened.
Well, I mean, that is something that happened, which is that I have partial paralysis on my left side from my spinal cord injury, and they are roughing me up, bruising, damaging, tearing, and twisting my body into an unnatural, non-breathable position.
Okay, and when did that occur? While they were taking you into custody, or while you were sitting in the back of the car when they took you to jail? Or all of the above?
Well, do you understand the concept of a neck brace?
Yes, I
And you understand if someone is wearing a neck brace, it is probably because they need a neck brace.
probably.
And so if you remove the neck brace,
Who gave that to you? Who prescribed a neck brace for you? Was it a...
my medical prescriber.
Okay,
So when it was removed,
right.
which I've already explained to you that your other brutality client, Ben Pickering, who was brutalized in 2013 as well as 2015 by you guys, who BHU failed to disposition properly, had assaulted me in the absence of adequate legal services in all 4 counties, Wahkiakum, Pacific, Clatsop, and Multnomah. And at this point, it's a high five across the universe, teamwork. He's alive. Nobody had to shoot him. Nobody had to they tasered him, but thank goodness for you. And you guys owe me a debt of gratitude for saving you. He could have been the next James Chass, and you guys know that so well. Even Mr. What's his name, Mike Reese. So you're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm glad that I could put my life on the line for you. And if anything, I should have had some apology and some thanks from Mr. Hales for helping someone as a pro bono social worker. And I had told Deborah Conforti it was, well, it is. So this is an ongoing thing.
So nothing happened. They didn't, make you lay down in the back seat of the patrol car?
They didn't hog tie me. I wouldn't even consider it a rough ride. I'm not saying a rough ride. I even commended Miss Waltz on her driving skills. What I was able to do, because I realized Engstrom has a violence problem, but maybe he's fundamentally a nice guy. Put that on his record or whatever. But I was de-escalating Engstrom. I've got now, years of experience de-escalating violent, crazy Northwest dudes with no manners. I grew up in the South where men are gentlemen. I have no idea what's going through their minds when they act like this. And so he's ripped my shoulders, crushed my wrists. I talk small talk, military, Navy, Japan, his grandpa, my grandpa. So I'm able to humanize him. And when I get into the car, I start asking him about the computer equipment, because I've presented on Motorola surveillance equipment for my LAPD, instructor down in administration of justice. To me, I'm just like, wow, this is cool. The inside of a cop car, this is so high tech. So I'm trying to make small talk about the equipment and understand how the dispatch process works. But then me being, an obnoxious person, I start bragging about my cousin killed Osama bin Laden. So that didn't go into the report, which I really kind of resent that I got to be outed as bisexual by your ridiculous lady who's grabbing my labia, in case I have a corkscrew up my labia, I imagine. That was a sexual assault, by the way, and I'm a sexual assault survivor. Mr. Hales knows that, and I understand you guys have to be careful about how, who you're taking in, but you're taking in me. You're taking in Mary Eng, the person that's saving this disabled man you've beaten up and ignored and pushed aside. And this was a retaliatory violation of the DOJ settlement agreement, section 129 and 130, which prohibits retaliation. This was an act of retaliation.
Mary?
Yeah.
It's my turn to talk now. Can I talk?
Well, I've got an hour.
I don't have an hour. I just had a couple quick questions for you, because I wanted to make sure that there wasn't something that happened